Hi, we're back. We're back to the weekly updates of the Maritime Lemonade Stand. I'm Erica's Queen. How are you? Again, legit. When we last left, let's see. Where I was sadly leaving Savannah. Broke my heart, but what a town. Had to get going, but what a town. If you ever get the chance, I know I've said it before. Go to Savannah. Fortunately, sorry, get so excited about these videos. I get a little bit dry, a little bit parched. There were some. For a second, I thought something was on fire, and there's a very big wake coming. Fortunately, there were some gorgeous times ahead after leaving Savannah. First night was just in this tiny little anchorage that I found. It was just me and some animals, and there was just the sunset, and I was there on my cocktail chair, Captain Queen's cocktail chair, if you remember back from the Lonely Planet series, a guy in North Carolina talked me into having it, and I'm so glad he did, because I just spend every single night there just kind of watching the sun go down, just on my cocktail chair, just me, like watching dolphins. It's just insane. Like, you just really start to go, is this okay? Whatever. Speaking of dolphins, we've not really spoken of dolphins before, and I think we should speak of dolphins. Some things you might not know about being on the boat and dolphins. I see about 40 to 50 dolphins a day. They're everywhere, which is amazing. They love to play near the boat. They love to kind of come up near the boat and go back under and come port side and starboard side. It's just you can't be in a bad mood and a bad day when like little dolphins are there kind of playing around you. And another fact that you might not know is that I'm doing this trip alone. I anchor out alone, meaning I talk to more dolphins a day by far than I talk to humans. And it's not really I don't have like this Jacques Cousteau attempt or approach. It's just like hey guys! And it literally sounds like that, and I don't know if dolphins respond to high pitches or if that. Anyway, that's I'm going to work on if there's such thing as a dolphin call, please let me know. So from there, I missed the tide getting into this little creek. Basically, I couldn't get in because it was too shallow and the shoaling was pretty bad. So I found a nearby town called Brunswick. So I kind of go under this massive, very intimidating bridge, and Brunswick. What a treat it turned out to be. Brunswick liked the stew, but not really, because they get tired of you asking that. Brunswick stew is from somewhere in Virginia. But it's just got this little square, this amazing architecture, some great little cafes and stuff like that. It just what a little treat it was, Brunswick. So if you ever, I wouldn't give it 3 days, but if you've got 4 hours to kill and you're somewhere near Brunswick, stop in Brunswick. And that next night, after I left Brunswick, I'm finally getting the weather for like my little Treasure Island adventures. Pull up to this other anchorage, and there was this island that I still can't find the name for, and so I rode to it, and I brought some beers, and it was just this crazy, creepy island made up of oyster shells and like turned over trees, and there was nothing there, and so I just got to kind of explore and watch the sun go down behind Odyssey with the beers. It was just amazing. It's not the islands that you think of, but just being able to finally row ashore to an island I've never been to, and I'm all alone. It's like Treasure Island meets Lord of the Flies if there was only one fly, I suppose. But it's exciting, nobody around, and it's just me and animals and shells. And that next day, some friends of mine were like, okay, well, after you stop at Cumberland Island, you should. I didn't know anything about Cumberland Island, but the way they said, we're going to need a bigger boat. The way they talked about Cumberland Island was just so matter of fact. Like, of course, you're going to stop at Cumberland Island. So I stopped at Cumberland Island. Aside from Savannah, which is a given, Cumberland Island has been the greatest single highlight of this trip. I mean, you get there, and it's like this Lewis Carroll meets Michel Gondry type place. It's beyond fairy tale like. It's oaks and Spanish moss kind of leaning over, and there are no cars around, and you come out of that amazing forest, and then there are wild horses there on the beach, and then you go take another path, and then in the middle of nowhere, there are the remains of some old mansion that used to belong to the Carnegies, like in 1881, like the Gilded Age, as Mark Twain would put it. And you're there, and you see this amazing house and the driveway up to it, and you can just imagine kind of the parties that were going on. Zelda Fitzgerald getting everybody drunk, and Hemingway trying to fight a tree or whatever. And again, it was just I was just mesmerized. I mean, I stayed there. I didn't see as much of the island as I should have because I was just walking around this ruin port, you know, and behind it are all these old craggly buildings leaning over, and that would have been the slaves' quarters, and that would have been the carriage houses, and then you could walk out further, and like there's this beach made of tiny crabs, and then you go back. Finally, it was getting dark, so I had to go back. Hands down, the greatest walk I've ever had was on Cumberland Island, and I've had a lot of walks. I haven't had a car since 1999. I know my walks. I take my walks very seriously. This walk, going through, look at this. It's just, remember in Gladiator, the opening scene, and he's just walking through the fields of gold to his wife and child, and they're dead. I hope I didn't ruin that for you. It's been out for like 30 years. And it's just that, you know, that's heaven for him, you know, and he's touching the tops of the week. That was me. Like, I slowed down to 0.2 miles an hour and walked and breathed and put my arms out so I could feel the breeze and the plants and nature, and it was just single-handedly greatest walk. You got to go to Cumberland Island. I didn't even get to the northern part, you know, where JFK got married in that tiny little chapel. Go to Cumberland Island. Spend a week. Backpack. Take your hammock. Absolutely amazing. I cannot speak enough about it. Where else are we here? You guys think I just remember this shit off the top of my head? Oh, God. Okay, so next morning, about to cross over the Florida line, making that 2 states, Georgia and South Carolina. I've gotten through unscathed with no professional help. I have basically a long, long day in front of me, you know, 13, 14 hours to get to St. Augustine. The reason I'm hurrying is I'll tell you in a little bit. But so I woke up early, did my yoga, had my breakfast, packed 2 lunches, got out there, and the engine wouldn't start. Yet another fucking engine problem. I'm so over this diesel. I can't wait till I can just put the sails up. I'm done with it. I know I need it, but I'm done with it. Like, you're there, and it's a big day, and of course, as Murphy would have it, engine doesn't start, and I'm just sitting there going, well, like, I literally, if I don't get going within the next 45 minutes to an hour, I'm not going to make St. Augustine, and there are not really any anchorages, you know, kind of in the area, so I'm going to be screwed. So I call Boat US. They haven't heard from me in a long time, which makes them very happy. And I was just like, look, I need a jump start, I guess. I don't know. So they're like, somebody's going to be there in 40 minutes. Shit. Okay, well. So I just go down below and I just start playing with wires. You know, I don't know what goes where yet. You know, I'm slowly learning, but, you know, just kind of playing with wires, and then I must have touched the right wire because it fired up. So I called Boat US. I don't need you anymore. Off I went. I think it was about a 96-mile day, 13 point something hours at the helm, all day, super long. I couldn't stop. If I stopped, you know, I couldn't get her started again. So I had to go to this one boatyard who would have an electrician. And of course, this is Florida, so minimum per hour is like $100 an hour. So you're like, great. So I got there right as the sun was going down, and all the old salty dogs out there fishing started applauding because they thought I was coming in after closing at the marina. I was going to leave before sunrise, which is a cheeky yet common thing to do, but I wasn't. You know, I was going to spend lots of pennies getting this fixed. As it turns out, it was just some loose wires. I had to pay $100. Thought I was going to have to pay quite a bit more, and so I had basically about $100, $150 extra in my bank account. So I did what I always do when I have money in my bank account, and I spent it frivolously on a bike because I've gotten tired of that little, you know, little foldable bike I had from Yugoslavia. Super cool, looks great. I'm 6'1". I have lots of groceries. Wasn't working for me anyway. Bought this amazing Centurion bike from the 80s. I'll show you some more. I'll show you some better pictures than the one I'm showing. So got the bike, and then it's St. Augustine. Oh my God, is there a prettier town than St. Augustine? You know, and I forgot to mention this about yesterday, but, you know, kind of coming in, there's the fort. You know, there's that Spanish fort right there on the edge, and so you're 12 years old again seeing this thing. But I mean, St. Augustine, amazing food, and I'm gonna write like a 24 hours in because I found some great snack spots and a great little cigar bar. But if all you do is tour the 4 main Flagler buildings, you will leave fulfilled. Especially what is now Flagler University, used to be the Ponce de Leon Hotel. Take the entire tour. It's like an hour-and-a-half tour. Unbelievable stuff. Again, all from the Gilded Age. Then walk across the street to the Hotel Alcaraz. Something like that. Anyway, where they used to have like that old pool and stuff like that. Super cool. Do St. Augustine. Give St. Augustine 2-3 days of your time. Amazing place. And then from there, it was another long day down to Flagler Beach. Another long day. Why? Not used to hurrying. Not used to having a deadline because I wanted to see a couple of friends of mine actually in Flagler. And so I was able to cook them dinner there on the boat. And the next day, another long day down here to New Smyrna, my old stomping grounds in the Orlando days, because two friends of mine had flown in from Texas to see their parents here, so we've all gotten to meet up and go drinking and stuff like that. So, yeah, after this, don't have really much of a deadline, which is great. And I'm going to go enjoy New Smyrna Beach with my friends. I'm going to stay drunk on those little rum runners at the breakers. They're so delicious. Maybe I'm going to have 3. I don't know. And we shall catch up with you next week. I mean, Caribbean's getting super close because I'm going to cross probably from West Palm. So get excited. I'm excited. We're going to see you later.